Okay, that's great. So good morning, friends. Once again, I welcome you again for today's second live synchronous interaction. So in this session, we are going to discuss about the cross validation. So basically what we are going to discuss under cross validation. So how to select the model using this cross validation technique. That is what the today's agenda of the session. Okay, so let's start. So in this video or in this session, we will discuss why the cross validation is important, and we try to understand how it works, and we also see how it can be applied in many different ways. Okay, suppose before we start, we first look at, after the end of this live session, what are the deliverables to you. Okay, so you will be able to describe how the validation set can be used to avoid the overfitting, how to articulate the training, validation and the test sets which are used for the model selection, and we also explore the different cross validation technique that we can perform on for the model selection. Okay, so let us go back. Suppose we need to build a machine learning system for the following problem. So what is the problem? So given a photograph, we would like to predict, is this a person or a bomb? So clearly this is an important problem, and ultimately when the public safety is concerned, this is really important. So as a machine learning scientist, what we are going to do, we represent the input as an X and the output as Y, where Y can be 1 for the person and it should be 0 for the bomb. So in order to build our system, we need to collect the data from the real world to learn from our data set, so which consists of many pairs of photographs and the labels. So these photographs, they are either the people or they may be bomb, right? So in this figure, you can say that we have collected the data, and this data consists of the pair of labels. So the labels are what? It would be either human or it may be bomb, right? So once we collected our data, we will train our system. So the first part, the first phase of the machine learning system, and then we put it to the test in the real world. Now, why we are testing this machine learning system? Because we want to ensure that we want to protect our nation's shopping malls, schools, airport, so on and so forth. So let us look at the training process in more detail. As it turns out, so we know many ways of training machine learning system, each with the different parameter and the settings. Okay, so for example, we can learn machine learning system with the one nearest neighbor machine learning algorithm. See, so 1NN, so KNN is basically a widely used geometrical classification algorithm in the machine learning. So there are different versions of KNN algorithm. So KNN, so NN, it stands for nearest neighbor. Okay, K nearest neighbor classification algorithm. So the first version is the one nearest neighbor classification algorithm. So we are using the different versions of this nearest neighbor algorithm. So let us say that we can have one nearest neighbor system, we can have 3 nearest neighbor system, we can have 5 nearest neighbor machine learning system, we can have kernel regression with the 1 sigma classification system, we can have kernel regression with the 2 sigma classification system, then we can have the naive Bayes algorithm, we can have SVM classifier and whatnot. The list is endless. We have thousands of machine learning algorithms that we can use. So let me just recap you. What is our problem? That we have to decide which model to select from the list of available model, and we are using for that purpose cross-validation technique. Okay. So the problem of choosing which algorithm to use for a pool of possible machine learning algorithm is known as the model selection. So we want to choose the model that will work the best at test time in the real world. But all we have to use the fixed data set. The data set that we are using, it is fixed. So one way to choose is to train each method on our data and then test it on some data that we have. But this is terrible idea. Okay. So what we are going to do? So we will do the following, that we will split our data into sections and each sections will be called as a fold. Okay. So we have data, we are going to train our data, and then we are going to test our model on this data. Okay. And as I just mentioned, to start with, we are taking the splits of our data into a different sections, and these sections are called as folds. So in this example, you can see we have 4 folds. Next, we will iterate through each of this fold as train data and test data. Okay, and we start our process of training and testing the machine learning model. Okay, so to start with, let me check, just select the pen so that I can, wherever possible, I can use the pen. So what we did, the given data set, it is splitted into the 4 sections. And now we are using these 4 different sections or 4 different folds, what we call, okay, for training and testing. So as a part of first iteration, what I am going to do is, I will keep my first fold aside, okay, and the remaining 3 folds, that is the second fold, third fold, and the fourth fold, I will use it for training purpose. Okay, and I will keep, I have already kept this first fold aside for testing purpose, right? So now, and then what we are going to do is, so we are using the, because we have seen that we have the list of machine learning algorithm available to train the model. So I am going to use the first model, that is 1NN, that is one nearest neighbor machine learning algorithm, to train and to test my machine learning model, right? So that's it. So I have trained this machine learning model. I created a machine learning model by training the data set, that is training the second fold, third fold, and fourth fold. So I considered these 3 folds for training purpose, and I have built the model M1, which is built using 1NN algorithm. And then I tested this model M1 using this fold 1. And let's say that I have achieved the, so this is my test fold and these are my train folds. So let's say that I have achieved the, I have, when I tested the machine learning model, let me take a pen. So when I tested the machine learning model, which is trained using these 3 folds, okay, then I got the error rate 23%. So first fold has 23% error rate. So I will repeat this procedure for next iteration. In next iteration, what I am going to do, in next iteration, now I will keep my second fold aside for testing purpose, and remaining 3 folds, 1, 3, and 4, they will be used for training purpose, right? And we know that for the first fold, which we have kept it aside for the testing purpose, we got the error rate 23%. So same way, we also calculate the error rate for the second fold, and we got the error rate to be 18%. So we got the error rate 18%, and keep in mind that we are still using first nearest neighbor machine learning algorithm in order to train. okay, in order to train and test the machine learning model. Yet we have not chosen any other machine learning algorithm. Still we are applying the one nearest neighbor algorithm on each of this fold. Okay, so let's go and so train this and test this. So go to the third. So okay, so now what I will do in the third iteration. So in the third iteration, I kept the third fold for testing the model. I have used first fold, second fold, and fourth fold for the training purpose. And then I will calculate the error rate for the third iteration. Okay, so error is always tested on this test data set. So third fold will be used to calculate the error rate of the machine learning model. And we came to know that the error rate for the third model is 19%. So the error rate for the first iteration for the 1NN, one nearest neighbor machine learning algorithm is 23%. For the second fold, when we used it as a test data, we got the error rate to be 18%. And when we kept the third fold aside or separate for the testing purpose, then we got the error rate to be 19%. So the last fold remained, that is fourth fold, which we still have not used for testing purpose. And that's the reason in the fourth iteration, what I'm going to do, I will keep the fourth fold aside for testing purpose, and I will train my model. I will train the model M1 using these three folds, that is first, second, and third folds. And then we calculate the error rate for the fourth iteration, that is for the fourth fold. So when we see, so the error rate for the fourth fold or for the fourth iteration, you can say, is the 15%. Okay, now does our job is over? No, our job is not over. Our job is not over. So what is the cross validation error? So now we have to find out the cross validation error for the one nearest neighbor method or one nearest neighbor machine algorithm. Now how do we find it? So the cross validation error for the one nearest neighbor method would nothing but the average of all these errors. So can anybody please tell me what is the average error or the cross validation error for this? Anybody from you? So you can type your answers in the chat box. Yes.
18.75.
I think the the answer was given on it. Okay, anyways, I just forgot to hide the slides. Anyway, so the answer is basically 18.75. And this average error that we have found out is considered as the cross validation error. So I'll just again go back. Okay, so the cross validation error or the average error that we have found out is the 18.75. Okay, now this cross validation error that we have calculated, it is specifically for the one nearest neighbor machine learning algorithm. In the same way, we calculate the cross validation error or the average error for three nearest neighbor machine learning algorithm, and we will follow the same process that we split the data set into the four folds, then keep the first fold aside for the testing purpose and train the three nearest neighbor machine algorithm using the second, third, and fourth fold, and then calculate the error rate for the test data, that is for the first fold, and then repeat the process for each of the fold, and then calculate the average error. So the average error for the three nearest neighbor method that we have calculated is 17.5, whereas for first nearest neighbor method it is 18.75. The same way, as I already mentioned, there are other versions of nearest k-nearest neighbor classification algorithm. So the next flavor or the next version of the k-nearest neighbor algorithm is the 7NN, and here you can find out the average error or the cross validation error for 7NN method. It is 18.23, whereas for 3NN it is 17.50, and for 1NN it is 18.75, right? So now anything else remain? Yes, one more method, one more flavor or one more version of nearest neighbor method, it still remain, and this is called as the 5 nearest neighbor classification algorithm. Okay, and the cross validation error that we have got for 5 nearest neighbor classification algorithm is 17%. Now looking at this all the figures, we can easily identify that the cross validation error for 5 nearest neighbor classification algorithm is very less, right? So finally what we can say that we will come to a conclusion that as the cross validation error for the 5 nearest neighbor classification algorithm is very less, and that's the reason we select the 5 nearest neighbor classification algorithm. Okay, so now friends, that's great, but remember, for any single method the cross validation error is an estimate of how the method would perform. So if the data we collected is an accurate representation of the real world, then we repeat the cross validation process. Now for each method that we might select during the training, we calculate the cross validation error. So well, then we can select the model with the minimum cross validation error. So in this case it is the 5 nearest neighbor, and this is the best guess for which the model will be the best for the bomb detector in the real world example. Okay, so we have concluded that the 5 nearest neighbor classification machine learning algorithm is the best algorithm in order to detect the bomb in a public places like school, shopping malls, then public transport, and so on, right? So now that we have chosen our model, we have to evaluate it on the real world. And when we are evaluating this model on the real world, so what sort of performance that you do expect? Do we expect exactly the same performance as our cross validation estimate? So maybe our estimate was optimistic, or maybe it was too conservative. In fact, the 17% error would found during the model selection process is almost certainly optimistic. Now this is because the model selection has bias estimate of test error. We chose the best cross validation error out of many possibilities. So even if we had a pool of 1 million random classifiers, we would still expect at least one of them to have the low cross validation error. So we need to take another look at our data. So we will still use the cross validation, but this time we apply the cross validation twice. First, we separate our data into two parts. Okay. First, we separate our data into two parts, and in the second, the first part of the data will be used for model selection, and the second part will be used to test the data on the unseen world, to test the model on the unseen world. Okay, so got it. So first part of the splitted data, it will be used to select the model, whereas we are keeping the second part of the data aside from the original data set. Remember, this is very important, otherwise you will get confused whatever you have learned so far. So what I am doing, I am taking my original data back again, and I am splitting it into two parts. The first part is used for model selection. The first part is used for model selection. Then we select the multiple models, we find their cross validation errors, and then we select the best algorithm out of it, and then we test the selected best algorithm on this unseen data, which is basically a real world data, which is untouched. Yet we have not used this data for training purpose or training purpose or selecting the model. Okay, we completely kept it aside. So the important part here, the important point is that the unseen world data will never be used by our model selection procedure. So to perform the model selection, we divide the data into fold just like before. In this case, we have 6 folds. Okay, so we then perform the cross validation for each of our methods to determine an error rate. So in this case, 3 nearest neighbor is the method. Okay, in this case, the same process we have followed, that we have splitted the data into the 6 fold. First fold is kept aside. Okay, first fold is kept aside, and using remaining 5 folds, we have trained the machine learning algorithm, and the error rate for the first iteration is 18%, then for second iteration it is 23%, and so on. And then we found out the average cross validation error for 1NN, then 3NN, and 5NN, and 7NN, right? And after doing all these things, we found that the average cross validation error for 1NN is 22%, sorry. For 3NN it is 19%. For 5NN it is 25%. For example, we just consider only these 3 versions of the k nearest neighbor classification algorithm, right? So now this time we use all the folds of training data during the training. Now what does the final number of estimate? So in fact, it is the estimate of our entire learning process. So let us recap of what we did. So we took the data, we trained the multiple methods, then we selected the best according to the cross validation, and finally we tested on data which is not seen by the algorithm. So in other words, we achieved an estimate of how our entire learning procedure, which includes the model selection as a part of training, will perform on the unseen data. And again, if the test data set, the unseen data world, happens to be well represented by our data set, then this time we get the accuracy that is 16%. So we get this accuracy as the 16%. So what we did, so I think till this point you do not have any problem. Any problem till this point? Anyone can unmute the mic, because I am in presentation mode.
No, sir.
No problem, no doubts. Vedant, are you listening me? Vedant? Okay. Any problem? Yes, any problem, Vedant?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
No, sir.
So from here onwards. Yes.
Hello.
Yes,
sir,
yes.
I have one doubt.
Yes.
Sir, is there any criteria to select the proper algorithm? Means whether to select 1NN, 3NN, 5NN, or 7NN?
That's the reason the cross validation method is used for that purpose only. We are, how to select the best model. That is what we are discussing along with the concept called cross validation. So what we are doing, we have started. I'll just take a recap of what we have seen. So we have started with our data set, original data set. We took the entire data set. We created the 4 folds. We have splitted our data set into the 4 folds or the 4 sections. Now we have repeated the process of cross validation, that is, keep the 1 fold aside for testing and train your model using remaining 3 folds, and then find out the error rate. In every iteration, because we have 4 folds, so there would be 4 iterations. Now find out the error rate for each iteration and then calculate the average error rate for the entire 4 folds. Okay, for entire 4 iterations, sorry, not 4 folds, for the entire 4 iterations. So now that would be the cross validation error of a given machine learning model. Okay, so in the first 4 iteration, we get the cross validation error for 1NN classification algorithm. Then we'll select the next algorithm, that is 3NN algorithm, and we'll repeat the entire process. Again, we calculate the error rate for all the 4 iterations, then we'll take the average of all the 4 iterations, and that would be the cross validation error for the 3NN classification algorithm. And the same process will be repeated for 5NN. And then we have seen that if I look at the cross validation error for 1NN, 3NN and 5NN, I came to know that in the first phase, the 5NN, that is 5 nearest neighbor classification algorithm, it has the less cross validation error. And then we came to the conclusion that so we have to use the 5 nearest neighbor algorithm, which is based to find out or to detect whether the given person, whether the given photograph or the image is human or bomb. So that is the best algorithm, and we have applied that algorithm on the test data, okay, the unseen data. So now when we are applying the 5NN classification algorithm on the unseen data or on the real world data, we just realizes that the 5NN algorithm that we have selected by following this cross validation process, it is actually biased. Why? Because when we selected the the train data and the test data, they are actually very small instance of the original data set, and we know that definitely the 5NN will perform best for them, and that's the reason. Then we realize that okay, the algorithm that we have selected 5NN, if I apply it on the real world data, then it may perform well, it may not be performed well, it may have very worst classification for the unseen data. And then we decided that why not we do one more phase, that is that then we went to the second phase, that is what we did, we now splitted the original data set of 100, let's say that. Now we kept the 70 examples from the 100 samples aside for selecting the model. Remember, I'm not saying training data, training the model. I'm saying that out of 100 samples, I'm keeping the 70 or 80 samples aside for model selection purpose. And remaining 20 samples, I will after selecting the model, I will test that model on this unseen data set. Do you understood? So that's the reason, that's what we did here. So after first phase, in the second phase, because we realizes that the 5NN classification algorithm may be highly biased, and that's the reason again we splitted the data set into 2 parts. The first part of this data set, I'll just use the pen, just give me a moment. So the first part of this data set, it will be used for model selection purpose, and we have kept the other part of the data for testing, or you can say that when you select the model after following entire process, we test that selected model on this unseen data. So now the data set that is selected for the model selection, we have splitted it into a 6 folds: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. And we are repeating the same process that we have seen or that we have learned in the first phase of the cross validation, right? So after doing that, I came to know that the first NN algorithm has 22% accuracy, 3NN algorithm has 19% accuracy, and the 5NN algorithm has 25% accuracy. So now I came to know that 3NN algorithm has the less accuracy. So let us test the, let us build the 3NN algorithm using this entire, using this entire data set. So now what I am doing, I am using all the 80 samples. At this time, I am not splitting it into different folds or different section. I am using all the 80 samples and I am applying 3NN algorithm to create a model M1. So this is my train data now, and this is my test data. Okay, so I am selecting all the 6 folds. I am applying 3NN algorithm on this train data and I am producing the model M1. So model, this is my model selection. So M1 is selected, and now I will apply it on the test data. I hope you understood. So this is my train data. I applied the 3NN on the train data and then applied it on the test data. And surprisingly, I came to know that the error rate for the test data that we have got using the 3NN algorithm is only 16%. So select the best and test it on the world. This is what we have done. So we have selected the best model out of available pool of machine learning systems or machine learning algorithms. Then we have constructed the model, and then we have tested the model on the unseen data. So world here, this image, it represents the unseen data. Understood. And the accuracy that we have got for this unseen data for the 3NN classification algorithm is 16%. So that's all from my end. If you have any problem, we'll just go back to one more slide.
Yes, sir. I have a problem.
Yes. Yes.
Sir, my actual question is that whether there is any method to select a proper algorithm rather than performing all the algorithms and then selecting the best algorithm on the basis of their error percentages.
Okay. See, I have already answered this question in, I think, in the first or the second session. So which type of algorithm I should use, it depends on what type of problem you are solving, right? If I am solving the task or the problem with respect to some, numeric data set, or predicting the predicting the stock price of today's share market, then I have to have used the linear regression algorithm. I cannot use any other algorithm. I may have the choice of using the linear regression algorithm. I can use the multiple linear regression, logistic regression, lasso regression, ridge regression, and so on. Right? So it depends on the domain of your problem. If your problem domain, it consists of numeric data set, then I have to have used the the regression algorithms. If I am using something that where I want to find out the relationship between the items, okay, from the data set, then I would have to use the unsupervised machine learning algorithms such as the association mining, subgroup discovery, where there are different flavors of association rule mining. You can have the choice of using a priori association rule mining. You can have FP growth, subgroup discovery, and whatnot. Okay, the list is very long. And then if you have been given a data set and the data is not labeled, okay, the training data set or the problem which you have, which is given to you, and you found that the data set which is given to me to solve this problem, it does not have any labeling to the instances. In that case, I have to use the unsupervised learning algorithm known as clustering. वहां पे मुझे clustering ही use करना पड़ेगा because I do not know the labels of my data set instances. Understand? Now cross validation is what? For example, let's say that just to classify we'll take example of fruit classification. We have been given a problem of classification of fruit. We have been given a basket. There are 3 different types of fruits in the basket. Let's say that apple, banana, and orange, and we're supposed to perform the classification on it. Now for this kind of classification problem, I can use the KNN classification algorithm. Now which version of KNN should I use? For that purpose, I have to use the cross validation, because when I start the process of learning the machine learning model, I do not know, I do not have any luxury to know that, or I do not use any thumb rule or a principle that gives me the answer that 1NN is the best algorithm to solve this fruit classification problem, or 3NN is the best algorithm to solve this fruit classification problem, and so on. So I do not have any luxury, and that's the reason I am using cross validation data set. Now cross validation technique, it allows me to choose, to find, or to select the best model out of the available pool of machine learning algorithm. okay, which we use to train the model. Is it clear, Akash?
Yes, sir. I got my answer. Actually, my answer is that we don't have the algorithm to decide which one is the best. So hence we use the cross validation.
That's yes, right. We do not have, that's the reason I'm telling you, we do not have any luxury in the machine learning or any specific principle. If I apply it on the model and which tells me that, okay, this is the best learning model. We do not have any such thumb rules in the machine learning. Okay, anything else? Okay, I'll just,
No, sir. Thank you.
okay, I'll just put a question in the chat box. So, why to use cross validation? Please answer this question. I'll give you 1 minute, and till the time we'll stop presenting, I have to go to next. So everyone should interact. Actually, I'm expecting the answers from all of you. Please feel free to ask the question. I would love to see the answer from all the 59 students who have joined this meeting. Pratik, you have given yes, good answer, good. Vedant, then Bhumika, yes, your answers are right. Good, good. Kanchan, good. So some or the other way, your answers are right. But believe me that apart from choosing the best model or selecting the best model, there is other use of cross validation technique. So if you are ready to listen me for next 4 minutes, then I will cover this part. Otherwise I will stop because time up. You tell me in the chat box, shall I continue or not? It depends on your interest because 40 minutes have gone. Out of this 40 minutes, 5 minutes you have wasted in joining. Yes. Oh, yes, right answer. To test the performance of machine learning model on the given data set, right. Shall I continue for next 4 minutes? Everyone should give answer. I do not want a few representative to give the answer. Everyone should give me your reply in the chat box. If I get any no, I will stop, no problem, because that single student matters me. I can understand because we are because we have shifted to this online, so it would be sometimes very difficult to be on screen for a long time. Okay, so majority of students, they are saying that yes sir. Okay, so I will quickly go to my next presentation. Is it visible to all? Using the validation set slide is visible. Okay, we'll continue.
Yes, sir.
Okay. One student says that we continue this in the next lecture. Yes, okay, no problem. So I will stop here, no problem. I hope you have enjoyed this lecture. Probably when I take the next live session, in the first 5 minutes, I will complete that topic and then we'll go to the next topic. So this is basically a fourth topic from your first unit. Thank you for being interactive. See you soon. If you in the next live synchronous interaction, these are some references I have used. I think I forgot to mention this actually. So I have prepared this slide based on the cross validation by DJ Wiss. This is the again the learning material from machine learning by Pico Degree Udacity. I have used also Peter Flax, and then some part of this slide, or you can say that presentation, it was being prepared from the TechMax publication book, right? So these are some references. So thank you once again for patiently listening and being interacting. So if you have any doubt and queries regarding this lecture, you can reach me out at any time. You can mail me or you can call me. Thank you once again. Now you can end this meeting.
Thank you, sir.